Narrator soft, nostalgic, eerie. Summer is supposed to be a time of freedom. Bonfires, long drives, late nights under the stars. It's when the world feels open, alive. But not every summer story ends with laughter. Some end in silence, in fear, in places no one talks about. These are true stories. They happened when the days were hot, and the nights felt just a little too quiet. When the sun was high, but the shadows felt closer. So grab your headphones, turn off the lights, and listen closely, because sometimes the scariest part of summer isn't the dark, it's what comes after the sun goes down. Narrator, calm, reflective. Every summer, my family rented a cabin by Lake Hammond in Michigan. It was peaceful, surrounded by woods, no cell service, no Wi-Fi, just water, trees, and quiet. I was 16 the summer it happened, old enough to be trusted, young enough to still get bored. It started on the third day. I was skipping rocks by the water when I noticed someone across the lake. A kid, maybe 12, standing ankle-deep in the water. He was just staring at me. No expression, no movement, just watching. I gave a small wave. He didn't wave back. Narrator tense. That night, I asked my dad if there were other families staying nearby. He said no. We were the only ones that week. The next day, I saw the boy again. This time, he was closer, standing right by the tree line, still watching. I walked toward him, but the second I blinked, he was gone, slipped behind the trees like he was never there. I told my parents. They brushed it off. Maybe someone from the town walking their kid, Mom said. But it didn't feel right. Narrator low, suspenseful. That night I woke up to a tapping. Not on the door. On the window, right above my bed. 3 slow taps. Then silence. I looked out. Nothing. The next night it happened again. Same time. Same sound. But this time I saw him. The boy. Standing right outside my window. His face didn't look normal. It wasn't scared. It wasn't angry. It was just blank. Like a mask with nothing behind it. Narrator rising dread. I screamed. My dad rushed in, but by the time he got there, the boy was gone. The third night I didn't sleep. I sat up with a flashlight and a kitchen knife. And I waited. Sure enough. Tap, tap, tap. He was there. Same blank stare. I opened the window, shined the flashlight right on his face. And he smiled. Not a normal smile. Too wide. Too many teeth. They looked gray. And then he whispered just one word. Swim. Then he turned and ran into the woods. Narrator dark. The next morning, my dad drove us into town. He found a local officer and told him what I saw. When we mentioned the boy, the cop went pale. He asked if we'd ever heard of a kid named Owen Miller, 12 years old, drowned in Lake Hammond. 30 years ago. They never found his body. The cop said people sometimes saw a boy at the lake. Always in summer. Always watching. We left that same day. Never went back. Narrator quiet. It's been years now, but sometimes I still see him in dreams. Standing in the water, staring, smiling, and saying the same word. Swim. I haven't been near a lake since. Narrator reflective. One summer I was driving home from college. It was hot, I was tired, and I decided to take a shortcut through some quiet back roads. No cars, no signs, just trees, heat, and the sound of music from my old speakers. Then I saw her, a girl, standing on the shoulder of the road. She looked around 18. Jeans, tank top, long hair. She stuck her thumb out, just standing there in the heat like she'd been waiting a while. I slowed down, rolled down the window. You all right? I asked. She nodded slowly and said her name was Rachel. Her car had broken down. No cell service. She just needed a ride to the next town. I told her to hop in. She got in without saying much. Narrator slow build. First it felt normal. She sat still, polite, looking straight ahead. But after a few minutes, something about her started to bother me. She never looked at me. Not once. Didn't ask where I was headed. Didn't have a phone. No purse. No backpack. I asked where she was going. She answered in a whisper. Just away. I laughed a little, trying to lighten the mood. You need water? I've got a bottle right here. She didn't even blink. Just said, not thirsty. Narrator, growing fear. The road seemed to stretch forever. Like it was looping. The trees looked too close. Too still. Then the music started breaking up. Static, then silence. I reached to fix it, and she spoke. Do you believe in ghosts? I let out a nervous laugh. But she didn't smile. She turned her head. Finally looked right at me. And her eyes, they weren't right. They were pitch black. Not dark brown. Not shadowed. Just black. Like someone scooped the light out of them. Narrator panicked. I slammed the brakes. Skidded to the side of the road. My heart was pounding as I turned to her seat. But she was gone. Completely gone. The passenger door was still closed. I jumped out of the car. Checked the back seat. Checked the road. Nothing. No footprints. No sound. Nothing. But then I looked up. And there she was. Standing just inside the tree line. Same girl. Same clothes. Same blank stare. I didn't wait. I hit the gas and tore down that road like my life depended on it. Narrator aftershock. I didn't stop until I reached the next town. Pulled into the first gas station I saw. The guy behind the counter looked up as I walked in. Sweaty, shaking, still catching my breath. I told him what happened, what I saw. He didn't laugh, didn't call me crazy. He just looked tired. Said, you saw her, huh? Apparently it's a thing. Every summer someone sees that girl. Always asking for a ride. Always alone. She disappears just before the town line. Always. Narrator quiet, shaken. That was 3 years ago. Every summer since, I've avoided that road. Even if it adds an hour. Even if there's traffic. I don't care. Because I'll never forget the way she looked at me. Like she could see through me. Like I was already dead. And I'll never forget the question. Do you believe in ghosts? I didn't then. But now? Yeah. Now I do. Summer is supposed to be simple. Late nights. Open windows. Long drives with music up and the world passing by. But sometimes, the things we try to leave behind follow us. Into the woods. By the water. Down the back roads between towns. These stories aren't just meant to scare you. They're meant to remind you that not all warmth means safety. Not every voice in the night is someone you know. And not every face you pass by is alive. Because the truth is, some places hold on to things. And summer, with all its light, can cast the darkest shadows. So if you hear footsteps on the porch tonight, don't answer. If you see something watching you from the trees, look away. And if someone asks for a ride, with a voice too calm and eyes too empty, keep driving. Lock the doors. Turn up the music. And don't look back. Because these aren't just stories. They're warnings. And summer is far from over.